Neokraft Signs. Here's a place where you're probably going to see some familiar symbols and logos. Let's join with producer Chad Diamond and videographer Caleb Crosby in Lewiston.
We manufacture signs. We manufacture interior and exterior signs, and when you think of it, really signs are everywhere. Everybody normally thinks of the big signs on highways or on buildings and so forth, but also goes beyond that. If you go into a parking garage and actually count the number of signs, you'll be surprised at the number of signs you see.
We saw parts earlier of the leaves. Those will project through, and that's where that light will bleed out the side onto the face. So that would be a push-through letter.
It's a very important thing when a potential customer drives by the location. It's the sign that actually brings them in. What we try to do is interview the client to determine their need. We visit the site. We have to make a determination based on our experience of our salespeople for the size, for the location of the sign, for the best visibility.
What we try to do is to find out what that sign is going to do for them, because the sign is more than just an identification for a business. You know, if you're a retailer, the sign is really supposed to make money for the business.
Shapes and designs that we do on screen for drawing purposes become the shapes that get cut on the machinery out back. So there's a one-to-one consistency when what you see on screen is what you get on the sign. The neatest thing about it, in terms of art, is that signs become a little crucible of everything design. We have color, we have three-dimensional design, we have layout, and particularly typography, with very few elements. The typography on a sign is very simple. There's not much there, but it's a great place for me to explore the detail work of layout and art and design.
The letters get cut out on our routing system over here to the shapes, and then we hand fit this trim around, and then it gets glued in place. And then in the final application that would get applied onto the face, there'll be fasteners all the way around to keep the wind from blowing it off and keeping the weather out and birds out. In general, most common materials for us would be aluminum. We use a lot of aluminum, whether it's extruded or flat sheets. It really depends on the look that we're trying to achieve out there. You know, some things are faux finish. Other times, we've used big slabs of granite. We manufacture lighted letters, pylon signs. You know, we've had our largest sign out here. I think at one time it measured 12 feet high and 47 feet long. We've got a great staff. We've got draftsmen that have come in from the advertising agencies. We have people that bend neon. We have welders. We have electricians. We have letterheads for people that hand letter. Graphic designers, crane operators, heavy equipment operators, backhoes. We cover it all. And we work up in the sky.
I think one of my favorite signs is a sign that we had done a few years ago that people typically don't think of as a sign, and that's the time and temperature sign on top of the time and temperature building in Portland. It's a large display, three-sided display, that looks the same way as it did for years since it went up in the mid-60s, but it was actually replaced back in 1999. And the one caveat for that is that the replacement was to look exactly like the same matrix that was up there beforehand. So we came up with a way to do that. My partner Phil came up with a way to actually easily service that sign, so it was a little bit safer for servicemen to get up there and service that sign. It was helicoptered into place, and it was really quite an achievement. And it's certainly a sign that everybody knows that travels through Portland on 295. In some cases, we'll design a sign right from the get-go all the way through installation. In some cases, we'll work with professional designers. In that situation, a designer would actually design a sign package, sign design, to be executed by a sign company. That's where we come in. years ago, we were just a local sign company, dealing with local clients and so forth. Gradually branched off, did more and more in Maine, branched beyond the state and so forth. And now we've got, really fully a third of our work is going in the state right now.
It's quite interesting to drive around and notice the signs. Everyone here has the experience of driving around with their family and saying, "There's one of our signs," and the family saying, "Yeah, we know."